And but the one inning, we talked about small ball. It's not how many hits you get in the game, how on-base percentage, working to get on there any way you can. And, we were very fortunate in that inning, got Jordan on, and Michael Bradley, courtesy runner, stole the next 2 bases and gave us a chance with 1 out to get him in there. And Louis had a tremendous at-bat, fighting off curveball pitches and hit the ball right over the third baseman's head that got the first run in, and that kind of got us. The thing I loved about last night was I seen a different ball club. They played with a lot of energy, and being 1-5, that game kind of concerned me, but they showed me they're still focused and in the work ethic, and we still got a chance to have a great season.
And coming up next, you have Zach Griffith taking the bump here in just a few minutes. What can we expect from him and the rest of the team tonight?
Well, I hope that he follows Jordan's lead. We've been talking about pitch count, attacking the zone, and, last night Jordan kind of looked at him and said, Zach, ball's in your hand now. And, Zach is one of the veterans on our club, and, I expect every time he goes out to have a very good performance out of him, and I think we will tonight. The speed of the game that we've been playing earlier, not to say that coming home and playing in our own district slows it down, but we really have played some good teams early. And, I told Zach just a little bit ago, relax out there and attack the zone. Defense, we're playing at home, a huge field. Everything's in his favor. If he didn't give up free baseball, a lot of walks, I think he can have a dominating performance.
Well, Coach, thank you for joining us, and we'll continue on with the Bearcat Bullpen Show after this.
Always a
Follow Bearcat Radio on Twitter with the handle @VHS Bearcat Radio, and on Facebook by searching Bearcat Radio for the upcoming broadcast schedule and shows on the flagship stream of Virginia High School Athletics.
You know what really gets a party started? Indoor baseball. Yeah, just find a broom or a pool cue, and you can use, anything as a ball. Cans, bottles, shoes.
Hey, bro, toss me that avocado.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Bearcat Bullpen Show. Again, Dylan Hutton along with Mark Harr as we get closer to first pitch this afternoon between the Cats and the Richlands Blue Tornado. And before we get things going here, let's take a look at the weather, and we'll go over to Mark for that.
Well, folks, we're in for a good situation tonight. It's a little cool, but it's baseball weather, that's for sure. Right now we're at 61. Probably by the end of the game, it'll probably be down to about 55 degrees. But the sun's out, it's shining. Just a little overcast, not too much here. And then going on later on in the week, supposed to get a little warm, but expect thunderstorms on Sunday. My other employer might get mad if I mention the thunderstorms too much, so we're going to keep that at a DL.
Yeah, over at the racetrack. Yeah, they might not like that weather coming in on Sunday, but everything A-OK this afternoon for Bearcat baseball in a Southwest District contest between the Cats and Richlands High School. Again, you can keep up with the Bearcat Radio on social media by following us on Twitter at VHS Bearcat Radio, and you can also like our Facebook page by searching for our title there, Bearcat Radio. The next broadcast will be Monday, April 23rd, as Virginia High hosts John Battle at 7 o'clock here at Boyce Cox Field in a rivalry matchup. We could possibly see, in addition to some of the games we have, we only have 3 games this month, but we're looking to add a few softball here and there, and we'll see how that goes. Pretty busy time, a lot of finals coming up. We're both college students. We don't like to admit that much, but yeah, it's a pretty busy time. And we'll take a look real quick at the opponent scouting report, starting with the Richlands Blue Tornado out of Richlands, Virginia. Last year they went 8-12, lost 5-1 to Tazewell in the second round of the Southern Empire Tournament. They actually lost their last game to Princeton High School last night. They've lost 3 of their last 4. They're coached by Brad Strong. They have 5 returning starters, a very young team, though, Mark. We saw that. They have 1 lone senior, and he won't be playing tonight. Basically sophomores, juniors, and freshmen. Not a lot of juniors.
No, but like you mentioned in the pregame, Dylan, these kids played a lot last year, and they took their lumps, and a lot of experience on this team. So they've definitely got the innings under their belt to capitalize on that.
And this is the Richlands team predicted to finish 4th in the Southwest District this season. They're kind of the scouting report on them, of course, young, inexperienced at times, and that'll show, talented here and there, and athletic pitching seems to be a concern for them. So we'll see how that goes tonight. They hit the ball hard when they hit it. They have quite a few extra base hits, especially in the last few games. And last year they were known for being very unstable defensively and susceptible to big innings. And going back and looking, of course, they lost to Princeton last night at Princeton, but on Friday they lost 13-11 to a good Honaker team, and Richlands was led by Cade Simmons, who had 2 hits and 2 RBIs. George Cole had a double and a triple, and Bo Tarter had 2 hits as well. Cole had a 2-run homer for Richlands last Wednesday, in a 12-2 loss at Tennessee High. So Cole has had a hot week at the plate, and March 27th they beat James Monroe out of West Virginia 5-4. Cade Simmons tripled home Jacob Cole in the bottom of the 6th to lead the Blue Tornado to a win. Cole had 2 hits in that game, while Will Tarter and Travis Wilson each had doubles. So it's a team that can hit it in the gaps. This is a big ballpark, so if you find a gap here, you're looking at extra bases.
Oh, yeah.
Possibly inside the park if you hit it deep enough, especially in that right and left center field gaps. And, again, this roster just includes 1 senior and 2 juniors. So a very young group. We're not used to seeing that quite as – that's pretty severe to have that young a team, but it's good to have those guys.
And then to have your
for the
one
future.
senior not even play tonight,
Yeah.
It's
Cade Simmons, a sophomore. Will Tarter will be on the infield. We'll go to the lineups in just a moment. We'll take a quick commercial break. When we get back, we'll have storylines and starting lineups here from Boyce Cox Field.
Hi, I'm Dustin Lynch. You don't have to listen to country music to know that life can be full of drama. Some of it you just can't control, like your girlfriend running out on you with your best friend. But there's some drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org.
You just need to take that first step and find free classes near you and start moving towards a brighter future and even your college degree.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ed Council.
The average time a resume spends on an HR manager's desk is 7 seconds, and most of them are tossed aside. Now imagine if one of those resumes belonged to Yasmin, who was
living in a shelter, juggling 3 jobs. I had to be resilient. That's something that you can't teach.
We rely so much on a resume, yet it could never tell the full story of someone who
had to be independent and take initiative. And that's how I handle every project I get.
Discover new ways to develop great talent at gradsoflife.org. Brought to you by Grads of Life and the Ad Council.
Thanks for listening to tonight's game on Bearcat Radio. Remember that after the final whistle, all games are available for replay at Spreaker.com/Bearcat Radio.
Hi, I'm Matt Kenseth. You don't have to be a race car driver to know that life can be full of drama. Some of it you can't control, like mechanical issues, high winds, and rain delays. But there's some drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org.
You just need to take that first step and find free classes near you and leave the drama for the racetrack.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ed Council.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and in 2009 it was me, your fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when one of my embers landed on dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Bearcat Radio and the Virginia High Bullpen Show. Dylan Hutton along with Mark Carr. Richlands taking in and out as we speak here at Boyce Cox Field, DeVault Memorial Stadium, here on the state line of Bristol, Virginia, and Tennessee. Let's take a look real quick at the storylines for tonight's game. Richlands looks to right the ship in district play. As you know, you have a tough start to the year. They've lost 3 of their last 4. You get into district play, you can forget all about the past. That's kind of been what Virginia High has done, it seems like.
Oh, yeah, and the thing about district play is you have these rivalry games where everything just kind of gets tossed out the window, and that's where everything kind of gets all really shaken up and more than what you'd want it to be, especially as a ball coach.
And Virginia High happy to be back at home. Last time they were here, they came away with a win over Licking Valley for their first win of the year. They got a pivotal win on the road yesterday at Tazewell, and you heard Coach Daniels talking about this is a game where a lot of people are predicting them to win this one, but he knows this team is a talented and young team in Richlands. But he said he could learn a lot about this team because they got late got back late yesterday, and it's really kind of a growing point.
Oh, yeah, and you got to realize the bus trips, we don't really have very many close opponents in our district. You get to travel to Bluefield every now and then, and, traveling to Tazewell isn't as close as what you think. Marion, it's probably the closest one. It's about a 20-minute drive up the road, and they'll all take your toll on you, that's for sure.
That's definitely a Gavin Austin coming by underneath, giving us a wave from the basketball team. We got to see him throw down a dunk earlier this year. That was a wild season for them as Gavin came away with a big, I forget what game that was that Gavin had to slam dunk in, but definitely one of the more exciting moments of winter season that we had. And our last storyline for today's game, the Cats trying to start 2-0 in Southwest District play, and Coach Daniels is ecstatic about that, just smiling ear to ear whenever he was up here talking to us. Of course, Coach Daniels, you never can tell how the team's really doing because he's always in a good mood, it seems like.
Oh, yeah. He's always got a big old smile on his face.
And I think he's happy with the way this team is growing and finding out their identity. And we talk about identity a lot in baseball or basketball or football, but identity goes a long way in baseball as well.
Yeah, because in baseball, each individual player definitely does have their role. Your leadoff guy, his job's to get on. Is the guy behind him? He's got to get him over. And your role really does change throughout the course of this, not only the season, but throughout the course of the game. You just got to do what you have to do to make your plays, and that's really the identity of a baseball team is how can you adapt at the course of the game.
And he's seen that this team so far isn't as offensively powerful as we thought that we were going to have coming in. We had some averages coming in on this lineup, and the runs really haven't been there, and they're 2-5 at this point in the year. But, with all things considered, they've played a heck of a schedule to this point, too. I would venture to say one of the toughest around, and it's just interesting to see that, and it's helpful to see that they can get wins even where they only get 4 hits in a ball game. And they can come away with a win against a good team like Tazewell. So those are your storylines for tonight's game. Now let's take a look real quick at the starting lineups. We'll start with the visiting team, the Richlands Blue Tornado. Leading off for them is Will Tarter at second. Then the catcher, Cade Berry. In the 3 spot, Cade Simmons at short. George Cole will be on the mound hitting cleanup tonight. Bo Tarter at third base. Trey Brown at first. Logan Altizer in the 7 spot in center. Tyler Wilson in left. And then designated hitter Colton Knoll will be hitting for Nick Houchins, who will be playing in right field for the Richlands Blue Tornado. And for the Virginia High Bearcats, 2-5 on the year, 1-0 in the Southwest District, and 1-3 here at home. Bobby Medley leading it off in right. Jordan Dixon in left. Game after that big shutout win with 12 strikeouts yesterday. Zach Griffith on the mound batting third. Justin Lewis at first in the cleanup spot. Tyler Anderson will be the designated hitter, hitting for Austin Davidson, who will be at second base. Number 6 in the order, Noah Haas at third. Jared Mulse at catcher. Michael Bradley at short. And Jamie Lathrop rounds out the order in center field for the Bearcats. So that's the starting lineup. He talked about the impact that, or at least Coach Daniels talked about it as well, the impact that Austin Davidson makes being back in the middle of that infield and sort of anchoring things down and being a leader in the dugout. Definitely the kind of guy that you can have after a tough start to the year, having that guy to sort of calm things down. The game's awful quick. Whenever you're young and you're struggling, it helps a little bit to have a little bit of that boost that you didn't have.
Yeah, goodness. Sometimes whenever you're young, it'll stick in your head for a long time.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of young guys get time, especially on the mound. This is really a 2-horse pitching staff at this point with Griffith and Dixon. But I know at the beach, Coach Daniels was really excited about what John Clifton was able to show during that. He was talking about John, and also John Malumba got some more innings in. He really hasn't had to play against a normal opponent yet, though. He's played against, as a freshman, he's played against Abingdon and then like Granby or one of those teams. It's definitely tough when you're a freshman. It can be disheartening whenever you're playing those kind of teams. But you got to take it.
You got to take your lumps for sure. And it's a mental learning curve for you. So you're definitely taking it in stride.
Again, this is Coach Daniels' 25th season with the Bearcats. They've had quite a run with him at the helm. 3-time state champion during his time here, and Virginia High's only had 2 baseball coaches in the last 40 years trying to get back into the state tournament.